Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. Happy President's Day, right? Many of you have today off. So thank you for joining me today on your day off. So today I'm going to be talking about affordable living. Let me just lower this a little bit. I'm going to be talking about affordable living today, kind of like what is that? I just want to give you some ideas or some thoughts about affordable living. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. All right. Thank you. Thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Andrea Wilson. I'm the real estate broker at Brickhouse Realty. And on Mondays, I always pop on here just to kind of give you some information, some tips as it relates to real estate. And you just never know. Sometimes I'm talking about real estate investing. Sometimes I'm talking about if you're a traditional buyer or seller. Sometimes I'm talking to real estate agents. So I like to be well-rounded, give you all of the information that you need. So thank you for joining. If you haven't already, please like or subscribe to my channel so you don't miss when I come on here live, definitely on Mondays, kind of like that market update. So today my topic is about affordable living. So I'm going to share with you some information about kind of like what is affordable living, why do you need to know about it, how it can help you as you go out to make your purchase. A lot of you might be even a first-time home buyer. And so I work with a ton of first-time home buyers, and they're like, I don't really understand the process. I don't know the process. So I just want to share some things with you. Number one, many of you are going to go out, you're going to talk to a lender, they're going to issue a pre-approval for you. And so I also want to take a moment just to remind you guys that although they issued that pre-approval to you, you are not required to spend that 100% of whatever that top tier amount is. So if they said that your max loan amount that they will write for you would be $200,000, you do not have to spend all $200,000. Now, if you are someone out in the market and you've been looking, and so you're like, well, I can't find anything in my price point. That's just, we have low housing inventory. So you just have to make sure that you're being a little bit more patient and don't necessarily feel the need to buy at that top tier price point. But the thing about it is when that lender is doing that pre-approval, in most cases, that lender is approving you based on your gross income. He is approving you. So before the taxes and everything else that comes out, if some of you are paying insurance and the money to your 401k and all these other places. So that pre-approval oftentimes is based off your gross income. Well, if you're like mostly everyone else out here, we actually live off of our net income. So that's very important to really know and understand that we're living off of our net income. So right out the gate, just going off of the fact that you were issued a pre-approval based on your gross income could put you or set you off badly to begin, because sometimes these mortgage payments are so high because we have the mortgage, we have your taxes, and you have your insurance that are all going into this monthly payment. And so we never want to get to a point where we have so much money invested into this house that we can't either live our current lifestyle that we were already maintaining, and we still want to be able to save money and invest our money in other places. So you don't want to be at that top tier. And we don't really want to tell ourselves either that, oh, well, I'll just cut back on going out to eat, or I won't get my hair done as often as I have been doing, because that usually lasts for a month to 2 months or so. But for most people, you'll start to end up going back to old ways. And besides, it's no fun. We all work really hard. So it's no fun if you can't do the little joys of life that you have. So you want to make sure that you place yourself in a winning position. So affordable living is just being able to live in a house and own a house that you still have money to pay your other bills. You're not struggling to pay that payment, and that saving is also has to be on the top of that list. So I want to share with you, the government defines it as based on 30% of your household income. So living off of 30% of your household income is what the government is going to look at as far as determining the loan, how much of a loan that they will approve you for. So if we're looking at 30% of like your gross income, so if you made $5,000 a month, looking at 30% would be a payment of about $1,500 a month, right? Having a payment about $1,500 a month. If you made $3,000 a month, then that would be looking at about 30% of that would be $900 a month is what you would be looking at as far as a monthly payment. But I want you to think about, instead of looking at it at 30%, taking it back a little bit and trying to live off 20%, right? If you could base your housing off of that 20%, then that will allow you to be able to save, start that business that you always wanted to purchase, or that business that you always wanted to start. So oftentimes what people will try to do, they're like, okay, I want to scale back and I don't want to buy it. So usually the closer to the city or downtown you are, the more expensive the housing is. And then as you start to move out and then get to rural areas, housing becomes a little bit cheaper. That's just kind of how it works, no matter what market you're in. Typically closer to the inner city or downtown metropolitan area, then the housing prices is usually more congested, but the housing prices are more expensive, which is fine to do because as you start to move out, you tend to get like larger homes, more bang for your buck. But at the same time, what you also have to consider is many of you are then increasing your transportation expense because you have to go into your job. So it's a further commute. Now that may have changed, right? This may have changed. COVID-19 may have changed all of this because, you know, a lot of employers, maybe they're going to allow you to work from home more, or just kind of doing this hybrid model that will allow you to only have to go to the office a couple days a week versus having to go into the office multiple times during the week. So that can change, but this is all something that you want to think about when you're talking about affordable living. Also, you want to consider buying a home. You never really want to buy the home that is the most expensive home that's on the block. You never want to be that person who just has the most expensive. You're trying to, you know, make sure your values keep up, but neighbors may be doing other things and it's helping bring your values down. So you don't want to buy the most expensive house in the neighborhood. You really, if possible, want to purchase something that may be even lowered value, that needs a little bit of work. Maybe it was grandma's house and she needed to update the carpet and the paint. It still has that wallpaper up there. So that way you could come in to paint and carpet is relatively low, but that can increase the value on that home tremendously just by doing those couple things. And so boom, you automatically have some equity already built into it. So I do want to mention another term that's closely related. I'm talking about affordable living, but you also will hear the term affordable housing. So what affordable housing is, these are typically low-income housing projects that are around the city that oftentimes those owners will receive tax abatements, or they have stipulations once it's been deemed as affordable housing. They have stipulations on how much rent or how much they can charge for these properties. And so this is a different type of project. These are typically for people that have lower income, another route to home ownership in some of these communities. So definitely something to think about, but that is a little bit different from when we're talking about affordable living versus affordable housing. So those affordable housing projects, we usually see those more inner city, kind of scattered around the city, or maybe like 2 to 3 houses built, you know, side by side. And then it's just kind of throughout the city, you will see these type, and then they're very strict on how much income you can make on those projects. And oftentimes those projects will have like a tax abatement period, 5, 10 years, could be longer. It just depends. So just to recap, if we're talking about this affordable living, and basically what I'm saying is here, when you're thinking about buying a home, you want to consider not buying at the top of your approval amount. You want to consider buying a little bit lower. The government considers your home ownership on about 30% of your income. So what I'm suggesting is try to live off maybe like only 20% when it comes to your housing expense. Living at that 20% will be well below your income level and will allow you to be able to do things like put more money away from savings, pay off any other debts that you have, put you in a position that you can save. So if something goes wrong with the home, you have enough money saved in that emergency funds that will allow you to do that. So that's all that I really have for you guys. I don't see any questions here, but I do want to thank you guys for joining me today. I do pop on here on Mondays, kind of like your market update, to give you some information. If you have a topic that you want to learn more about, you can send me a DM. I'm happy to talk about and share on that subject as well. But other than that, I will see you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe my channel and have a good day.